Tristan Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristan Law, sub-retired pro wrestler. Today, I'm your host. What if I told you that R-Truth was never actually fired? What if everything that you saw from his release to his return, it wasn't a mistake, but it was a masterclass in pro wrestling storytelling? What if the real goal was never to let him go, but to reintroduce him as somebody that the world stopped taking seriously? Listen, this episode today is going to uncover what could be WWE's biggest worked shoot since Scott Hall and Kevin Nash going to WCW. R-Truth didn't just come back. Ron Killings, he arrived. Let's look at the whole timeline with everything about how he got fired. Mr. R-Truth there. And you know the thing too, talking about R-Truth, is he fired or whatever? The answer to the question could be staring us right in the face the whole entire time, and we're going to break that down today. Get your tinfoil hats on, because we're going to look at the timeline. You see, when it came to R-Truth getting released from the WWE, it was never announced. People getting released from the WWE these days is not something that they just go out and say, Tristan Law's been future endeavored from the WWE. Ron Killings has been future endeavored from the WWE. Carlos Colon, aka Carlito, has been released from the WWE. That's something that has not happened. That's something that's like the culture of yesterday. What happened was that R-Truth, he broke that himself on social media.
Jordan Mendoza,
he said
today.
Hey, Jordan.
You mentioned.
Nope, hold on. We got all these things playing. Anything that happens live could happen live. Here we go now. R-Truth says, "I'm sorry to inform you all, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every single one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everything that you've given me over the years. Thank you." And you know what? Everybody believed it. Fans and everybody believed it alike. We got a tweet from let's see who we got first. From Victoria. Her name is Victoria Fox. She was in the WWE. If you're not messing with us, even if you were, thank you, Truth. What a fantastic career, an exceptional character. Can't wait to see what happens next. That's one of the tweets that R-Truth got to that. And we got the voice of the voiceless Mr. CM Punk himself saying, "Thank you, R-Truth, for your character. Your character can never be imitated." Of course it could never be imitated, because once they made the mold, they broke the mold. And then we got another one from Mr. Jinder Mahal himself. "Thank you for everything, brother. I'm sure I'll see you soon." Thinking that we are going to see Ron Killings on the indie scene. Everybody already started making plans for him, right? Fans were in shock, especially after his match with John Cena at Saturday night's main event. And you know what WWE even did? They released a new t-shirt, and it sold. You don't release somebody that made you that much money. You know who else was in shock? I was in shock. I was out here talking big things, after the Saturday night's main event a couple weeks ago about R-Truth. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you. I'm just going to show you. R-Truth was never positioned as a threat to John Cena in any way. The only thing that he was the punchline. Came out dressed up. The last time is now in his bootleg knockoff John Cena, the last time is now farewell t-shirt for 2025. That's what he was. That's what he is. I felt that this was the time where R-Truth was going to break out and say it, and they were going to say, you know what, I see R-Truth as a future world champion. But you know what I see R-Truth still as? As the laughing stock in the WWE. Don't get it wrong. I know, you know that R-Truth has a safe job in the WWE. Nobody's not going to take that position from him. R-Truth has that funny man gimmick lockdown. Nobody's taking it from him until he's ready to give it away. They're not going to release R-Truth anytime soon. I'd be shocked if I saw that they released R-Truth. So did they fire R-Truth? Did they release R-Truth? Was it a flim flam? Was it a scam? Was it a okie doke? Did it really happen? That is the question. You see, when R-Truth got fired, everybody started speculating that he was going to go to AEW. Ron Killings, R-Truth, was going to go into AEW, and people say that he should show up as the R-Truth character, the R-Truth character. I'm going to say it. As the R-Truth character, the dumb dude who is just the comic relief, the punchline of pro wrestling, the Steve Urkel of pro wrestling. That's what everybody wanted him to be. But let me tell you something. I ate my words, and so did everybody else eat their words. Because this was perfectly executed. It was, and I hate saying this word when it comes to pro wrestling, but it was a fake firing used to stir sympathy, create buzz, and set the stage for something bigger. But what nobody saw coming is that this wasn't really a release of R-Truth, Ron Killings. This was actually just a rebrand. So let's take a look at some of the clues that we were given. I want to take a look at the R-Truth that you can't see me, right? John Cena, biggest fan. R-Truth, the character, he was one of the biggest fans of John Cena, right? Talking about you can't see me. So now we're going to take that same exact catchphrase and we're going to flip it, right? You're looking at Ron Killings, but you don't see Ron Killings. Ron Killings, the guy that was the first black NWA champion over in TNA way back in the day when Jesus was a child. That's not who you saw. Who you really saw was R-Truth, the people over here, what's up? All right, and doing the stupidness, right? And doing the, oh, my bad, oh, little Jimmy, all that stupidness. That's what he was doing. He wore the full getup to Saturday night's main event. Look at him. He had the hat. He had the armbands. Look at him, happy like a kid in a candy store. But look at the shirt. The shirt says, "Last time is now." Now, was it a little bit of foreshadowing? Was it going to be the last time that Ron Killings wore that shirt? Was that going to be the last time that we saw R-Truth? The Ron Cena farewell tour. Was that the last time that we were ever to see Ron Cena? Was it the last time that we ever going to see the goofiness? And look at that shirt. That shirt's going to be worth some money someday. And you know what? You can't get it right now. Look. That was the clue. That was the answer to our question that was in front of our face the whole time. But we didn't see it coming. You know why? Because people, even like me, said, oh, they wouldn't fire R-Truth, right? R-Truth's job is safe until he's ready to give it away, right? But then they fired R-Truth. Or did they? Let me tell you what the answer is. No, R-Truth did not get fired. Because what it was, it's like looking at your favorite TV show and watching your favorite TV character get killed off and then coming back a couple episodes later. Oh my God, I thought you were dead, but he was back. No, I was gone and I was lost on an island and now I'm back and the plane crashed and all that other bullcrap. Got to drink a gallon of water. It's hot in New York this week. Let me tell you, the studio's hot. Got all these lights on. I'm going to melt. Be careful out there. You're going to melt. But the whole entire thing, this was R-Truth telling us that he didn't want to be the comedy act anymore. That he wanted to be seen as the main eventer. But here's the thing, though. He couldn't just show up as Ron Killings because people would be disconnected. Fans wouldn't be able to separate the funny man from the serious man. Look, and I'm using Steve Urkel because I read his book, Growing Up Urkel, Jaleel White, great book. Look, I just called him Steve Urkel, right? I'm using Jaleel White to set the side-by-side comparison that when Jaleel White left Family Matters, he was only typecasted as one thing, the nerd, as Urkel. That's all he could be. And he fought so hard to still be something else, but you still see him, even though he's got his own game show right now, he's still the nerd. That's what he is. The same thing that would happen if we just took R-Truth and next week told us, nah, I'm Ron Killings now, call me Ron. Come on, R-Truth, you're just being funny. It would have been hard to disconnect. The proof is in the fact that everybody wanted, right, that he couldn't disconnect from being the funny guy, the goofy guy, the laughing stock, the butt of pro wrestling. The proof is that everybody wanted R-Truth, Ron Killings, to go to AEW and pretend that AEW's Tony Khan was WWE's Nick Khan. Or to go to TNA and pretend that he didn't know that he was fired because WWE wrestlers show up at TNA. There's only one word that we're going to use to classify that whole entire thing, and that one word is goofy. And then WWE booked him against John Cena himself. But that wasn't a coincidence. If you ask me, that was 100% a confirmation. The match at Saturday night's main event, John Cena, right, versus the WWE Undisputed Champion, John Cena, versus R-Truth, not Ron Killings, R-Truth. We're looking at the man behind the man with the mask on. In John Cena's run where he's getting ready to retire, he's not doing warm-up matches. He's not doing things just to waste time. Everything in John Cena's last run is for a reason. It's for a purpose. No wasted moments. John Cena is not out there doing favors without purpose. John Cena, just like me, just like a bunch of other people out there that decided to go into the ring. Tristan Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and your host of the Tristan Law Show. John Cena loved pro wrestling so much that he went on to be a pro wrestler and one of the most famous pro wrestlers during his time on top. We get taught in pro wrestling, if you go to a good school, I went to a good school, a couple of them. We get taught, leave the wrestling business better than when you found it. Leave the wrestling business better than when you found it. Imagine you going to your job, whatever it is that you do for a living, and your whole entire purpose is to do your job, but when you are getting ready to leave, you make sure that it's in a better position than when you found it. That is what John Cena is doing. Instead of elevating one star, John Cena is taking a bunch of people with him. He's elevating multiple stars. He co-main evented with R-Truth as Saturday night's main event. Look, whether John Cena or R-Truth, and R-Truth was the last match in the Saturday night's main event, it was a main event. Why? Because he's the champion. Let me tell you about John Cena. John Cena didn't go out there and raise his hand and say, this guy's next. He didn't go out there and cut a promo. The message was loud and clear in front of our face the entire time. John Cena says, my time is up and your time is now. But the twist, it wasn't R-Truth stepping up. It was Ron Killings. Ron Killings was there the whole entire time, whether you believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not, he was there. Now that R-Truth is back, or Ron Killings, still trying to separate. The music didn't change. Still the same What's Up music by Ron Killings, and after all, Ron Killings was the person that wrote the song. He's a musician. The gear, his outfit that he wears in the ring is still the same. Same shorts, same sneakers. It would be pushing the rebrand really hard if R-Truth came out there in tights or trunks, or a singlet, or something other than what he's already worn. Because I can't remember the last time we saw R-Truth in anything other than jeans or sneakers. The last time that R-Truth probably wore something other than, or Ron Killings probably wore something other than jeans and sneakers, right? God was doing his first 7-day rest after he built the earth. I don't know. But the energy shifted from R-Truth to R-Killings. No more rapping to the ring. No more dancing to the ring. He walks to the ring with a glare and not a grin. He's not pretending anymore. The man behind the mask has taken the wheel. And that man has a story to tell, and it's one that we've ignored for years. There's a heel turn. There's a heel living in Ron Killings right now. If you know what to look for, you will see it. I am going to show it to you right now. Where is it? I'm going to show it to you right now. The heel that's going to live lives inside of Ron Killings. He's bitter. That's what's going to happen after he's all done with John Cena. R-Truth got a little bit of attitude on him. He got a little bit of swag. He's feeling himself, smelling himself. Ron Killings will come out there and say that y'all cheered me for years. And y'all laughed at me, but where did that get me? The first thing that R-Truth did, Ron Killings did to separate himself from R-Truth, was cut the hair. That's what he did. Look at the photo. He cut the hair. He's going to say in his promo, when he becomes a heel, that I am the only wrestler who held the WWE 24/7 championship for 53 times. I have the most combined title wins in WWE history, and I held a championship that didn't even matter. It didn't matter then, and it didn't matter now. And what did that get me? That didn't get me any main event spots. I never won a Royal Rumble, and I was never even positioned to be on top at WrestleMania. And it's 2 nights now. Ron Killings is focused, and he has a reason to be. That is the heel that is brewing within Ron Killings, and we're going to see it. That heel that's brewing in Ron Killings is going to be a world champion. I said it here, and I said it now, and you know me, I am one that will eat my own words if I have to. Ron Killings going to come out there, he's going to say, y'all laughed at me, y'all danced to my songs, y'all reposted my skits on social media, and what did it get him? Fired. Fired on the unemployment line. Out there collecting government assistance because he don't got a job no more. But this isn't about his anger. This is about WWE's brilliance. WWE didn't give him new gear. They also did not give him a new theme song either. They gave R-Truth something way more powerful. You know what they gave him? They gave him a story. They let the fans believe that us, the fans, that we brought him back. I was only one of thousands of people, hundreds of people that made videos for their pro wrestling YouTube channel, podcasts, talking about the outrage that we had that R-Truth got fired. How you going to fire that guy? They made R-Truth's return grassroots. They let R-Truth go on social media and use social media as a weapon. It was a weapon to get himself over, to make himself popular. Everybody went out there and commented on R-Truth. R-Truth was trending, not only on social media, on Google search, and YouTube. Trending. Look at this clip here. That's going to tell us that it was a work the whole time.
Jordan Mendoza with USA Today.
Hey, Jordan.
You mentioned the R-Truth this week has been crazy with fans. I'm sure you heard everything. I saw everything that was being said about.
I didn't notice.
Oh, well, in case you didn't know, I wanted to know exactly, was he actually released or leaving the company? And if so, how much did fans play a role in it? Or was there something else that made you guys decide, like, you know what, we want this guy still here?
I love the question. You enjoying the show? All part of the show, man.
All part of the show. Triple H told us. And you see him with that little, that poop-eating grin on his face when Josh Mendoza from USA Today asked him, hey, was it a part of the show or did the fans bring him back? And he told us. Triple H looked dead into the camera and said, it's all a part of the show. But I'm going to tell you this. From my pro wrestling experience, one of the things that I learned being a pro wrestler is that it is always a work. I said that in that episode. That when they tell you that it is a shoot meaning that it's real, when they tell you that it's a shoot, it's still a work. Triple H sat there with his bold face, with his glasses on top of the head and said, it was a part of the show. Enjoy the show. You know what? What the hell? That's what makes pro wrestling so special. when they make us believe that something else is happening, it's not happening. Everybody wants to predict pro wrestling. I'm not going to lie. I come in here and I predict pro wrestling. It's fun. It's fun to predict your favorite football team, if they're going to win, your favorite basketball team, who's going to win the NBA championship. That's all nice and dandy. But pro wrestling is different. It's entertainment. It's scripted, right? But when you don't know, it's so awesome. I never forget, I was working, right? I was on break, and I heard that the announcer going, "Oh my God, who is this?" And I looked, I go, "Holy crap, it's R-Truth. He's back." And then the guy went ahead and gave himself a haircut. But this is not the first time that we've saw something like this, right? Because somebody like R-Truth, Ron Killings, he didn't need, the rebrand didn't need a promo. He didn't need to go out there and grab the mic and say that I want you to call me R-Truth anymore. One of the things that they always say is that actions are always, they speak louder than words. All this whole thing needed for R-Truth to succeed, it just needed a little bit of prediction. And this is not the first time that we've seen this playbook work. Listen. No, I'm going to put Roman Reigns into this, but no. Roman Reigns did not get a torch from John Cena. But remember, we're using this to side-by-side comparison. But remember, Roman Reigns was once a joke too. Remember when he had dog food on his face, handcuffed to the ring, right? And they had they put the dog head and all that other ridiculousness there. It was the crowd indifference. Roman Reigns was lost in the shuffle. And then one day something happened. It clicked. The story hit. The audience shift. And everybody's throwing up those ones in the arena, acknowledging the tribal chief. Now, he's one of the biggest stars in the WWE, and he doesn't even have to wrestle every damn day. Ron Killings is on that same exact trajectory as Roman Reigns. Not because of a push, but because of a plan. And now the door is going to be wide open for a man with a dream. A man who should have never became, and he's going to seal his legacy. Look, if you know anything about R-Truth, Ron Killings' history, before he got to pro wrestling, he shouldn't be where he is right now. But he's a man that by the time he's retired, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it and talking about it, that by the time he retires, and he says he's done with wrestling, he's going to be looked at as an American dream. Poor guy, right? Not rich. Grew up in the hood in the South. I think it was Mississippi. Went to prison for selling drugs. A prison guard, a CO, correction officer, took a liking to him and said, you know what, let's get you into pro wrestling. Got him into pro wrestling. And now Ron Killings is one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling right now. You think R-Truth, Ron Killings, was big before? He was something nice to watch, right? To where you were just watching all the segments in between. But now, you're really paying attention. Because you know what? Like John Cena's song said, John Cena's time is up, and it's Ron Killings, his time is now. Look, sometimes, kids, we have to work for many years to get to the penthouse from the ground floor. That's a little bit for me as well, too. Even with this, whatever it is that you do in your life, some days you got to really work hard, and some days you're probably looking at yourself and you're like, you know what? I don't see any headway to me getting to my dream. But if you're looking at somebody like Ron Killings, who wrestled, who didn't even belong in pro wrestling, who shouldn't even be where he is in life right now. He's got money. He's got the fame. He's got a wife. He's got a family. Honest man. But sometimes when it rains, you have to just keep a little bit of faith that sometimes it's going to play out for you. Because a couple weeks ago, Ron Killings was on the middle floor of this building, looking up, dreaming what the view of the penthouse will be like. And today, Ron Killings is one floor below the penthouse, and he is not taking the stairs because he's taken the stairs for the past 18 years. Right now, Ron Killings, he's taking the elevator. So look, WWE didn't fire R-Truth. What they did was they freed Ron Killings. He's not here to entertain anyone. He's here to put his name into history. And if he wins a world title now, it won't be a comeback. What it will be a legacy fulfilled. R-Truth is gone. Ron Killings has arrived. And now you can see him. Okay, hold on. Let me read the message. I know I like the fans. Let me read a message. Let me see. So, Ryan, good news. Thank you very much. Never seen your name before. Thank you so much for subscribing. Just about to end the show, but I got you. And if you got any comments that you want, put them in right now. Whether you're watching live or on demand, I read all the comments. Let's see what he said. Truth is the model for what a pro wrestler should aspire to be. Heck of a worker, charismatic, and creative. This is long overdue. You? Never seen your name before, but I appreciate you checking out the live show. But yeah, that's a really strong case that you proved there before as well too. Let's see, we did a poll as well too. Let's go check out the poll. Was R-Truth getting fired and Ron Killings getting rehired a part of the show? 60% of you guys said yes. 20% said no. And 20% said, I don't know. But you know what I'll tell you? I felt that it might have been a part of the show. I felt that, like I said, being a pro wrestler, when they tell you that it's a work, when they tell you that it's a shoot, it's still a work. Everything's a work. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. We are going to look at WWE's Night of Champions. We're going to recap that whole entire thing. I want you to be there. If you like what I did today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Send this out to somebody. Go to your Facebook right now and just share this. If you're on Twitter, X, share this. Instagram, I don't know how you're going to share it, but try your best. I'm Tristan Law. This is the Tristan Law Show. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
Flashing red lights, driving at night.